Happy Thursday and happy December. We have made it to the 12th and final month of the year, 2022. I am Dan Koontz, and this is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Thanks for starting your day with us on this Thursday. It is spitting some light snow outside of our studios here in downtown Wenatchee. It is 21 degrees, which is colder than we should have. And we're going to maybe get a little inch or so of snow before this weak little system passes through. This is actually the very tail end of the system that brought us the snow Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. It's still exiting the area, and then we're going to have some really cold temperatures. I talked about this yesterday. We're not going to see a lot of snow melt. In fact, we could see zero snow melt at all, even though we had the snow. And then the sun came out yesterday. We only got to 24 degrees, so the roads got progressively better as the day progressed, and then we have that freeze-thaw kind of thing that happens with the roadways. You get a little bit of water on the roadway, not ice, and then it freezes overnight when it gets cold, that kind of deal, when it's not in direct sunlight. So there's still some dicey stuff going on, but all the schools are back on schedule, unlike it was yesterday. Before we go any further, I want to give you this friendly reminder. Today is December 1st. December 1st of last year, we hit 70 degrees. It was the warmest December day ever recorded since they started keeping track of these things way back in like 1931. Remember that? Last year on this date, we topped off at 70 degrees. We will top off at 30 maybe today. But that was a weather anomaly. Weather forecast details are coming up pretty quiet until we get to Friday night into Saturday morning, then another perhaps a weak storm, nothing nearly as impactful as we saw a couple of days ago, could be coming in. Those details are coming up. Passes right now, I-90, chain them up. Stevens, you're chaining them up there, both directions. Traction tires are advised on Blewett. It is not snowing on the major mountain passes, but the roadways are not in the best of shape. It is Thursday. Pause for pets. Forrest the dog needs a home. Forrest the dog really needs a home. Forrest the dog has been in dog jail for way too long, and it's no fault of his own. We'll see if we can get Forrest a permanent home from our friends at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. And I did my yearly visit with our friends at the Wenatchee High School Golden Apple Marching Band, the senior drum major and the junior drum major. Finley Otley is the senior drum major. Sophie Macon is the junior drum major, and they talked about the big Craft Bazaar, which has been their biggest fundraiser. It's been going on for a dozen or more years at the Wenatchee High School Commons on Saturday. It's a huge, huge deal. It's a lot of fun, and it's the fundraiser for the Golden Apple Band's Booster Club, which helps them offset the cost of buying or renting instruments, uniforms, field trips, competitions, all that stuff. So Sophie and Finley will join me in the back half of the program. 3 minutes after the hour. I don't know what we're going to see. Let's throw them up there, our cameras. From Localtel's Sky-Fi division, that is the camera at the Heights. You can see it's kind of a freezy ice fog kind of scenario with some low clouds. You can make out a little bit of the Wenatchee Valley. Of course, we're getting some really, really short days now. Sunrise this morning isn't until 7:27. Sunset tonight, 4:12, or should I say this afternoon. That buys us 8 hours and 45 minutes of daylight. One other weather thing I want to point out with the yesterday's high of 24 and our normal high supposed to be 38, we closed out November with 27 of the 30 days in November. Our daily high temperature was below normal. 27 of the 30 days was colder than what it was supposed to be. It was a very, very cold November. In many locations, in many days, I should say, during the month of November, we would have days where we were 15, 16, 17 degrees below normal for our daily high temp. It was an unseasonably cold November, and December is off to picking up where November left off. Camera 2, I think it's off to Ephrata. There it is. Good morning, Ephrata. The seat of Grant County checks in. That is that camera, of course, defaults to black and white. That's how it works. If there's enough natural light, it switches automatically to color, but if there isn't, it switches to that color, to black and white, so it can let in as much light as possible. Seems to be maybe a little breezy out in Ephrata. By the way, it's supposed to be breezy up in the Okanagan Valley down to the Waterville Plateau. They got some pressure gradients that are tightening just a little bit. So if you're watching from up north of us, Okanagan Valley to the Waterville Plateau in that area, a little windy today. It's going to peter out, that wind, by the time it gets to the Wenatchee Valley, though, so we don't have any wind concerns here. Cougar Ridge looks something like that. That's what you can barely make out is the Stemilt Complex, the traffic on the Yotobashian Bridge, and that is about it. This is part and parcel this time of the year. The low clouds and the fog and the fact that it's not sunrise yet, this is pretty much all we got. And that's the same with Kashmir, too. Good morning, Kashmir. It's snowing lightly in Kashmir, by the way. It's 20 degrees. Snowing in Dryden, 19 degrees. Snowing in Quincy, 19 degrees. Snowing lightly in Ephrata. Snowing lightly here in Wenatchee, and 21 degrees from our friends at Apple Valley Honda and the National Weather Service. Cold. Still a little bit of light snow this morning. We're going to get a little bit of that. It will be done by late this morning anyway. We'll see a few sun breaks. They tell us this afternoon. It's what happened yesterday. We're going to see that. It's supposed to be near 30. Now, we'll see how that pans out, because even though we had sun breaks Wednesday, we only got to 24 degrees. Overnight low tonight, single digits, 9 degrees for the Wenatchee Valley, and that means there are going to be some locations that are prone to colder temperatures, are going to be colder than that 9. Friday, clouds increase throughout the day. We'll have some clear skies in the morning as the day progresses. This weak system, not packing a lot of punch, is going to start rolling in. We're only going to get to 20, and a lot of that has to do, it's going to be so cold to start the day, we're not going to warm up much. Friday night, we start talking maybe a little bit of snow. Friday night into early Saturday morning, if it happens at all, it would be really early Saturday morning, not really Friday night. We'll jump ahead to Saturday. A little bit of light snow in the morning, clouds all day, high of only 29 degrees. Again, our normal high is 38, and these below normal temperatures are going to be prevalent throughout the forecast period. We will start seeing a little more sun than clouds. And outside, once we get past the overnight Friday into Saturday, there's no real snow or precipitation at all in the forecast. We're going to be in for dry and cold weather for most of next week. And that is your forecast. It's 7 minutes after the hour. There's a lot of news we're going to touch on. So grab your cup of coffee and come right back, and I'll fill your brain with the information you need on this first day of December. News is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Working with August Edge Real Estate, both sellers and buyers feel confident knowing they are in the hands of award-winning professionals. August Edge offers a 2% listing commission, which includes above-standard service and technology.
We offer high-tech 3D imagery, drone photos, local North Central Washington TV ads, and impressive smart flyer installed at your listing. The August Edge website also hosts your home with an interactive featured listing page.
August Edge is professional, personable, and preferable.
About 9 minutes after the hour, light snow coming down, 21 degrees. Most of our viewing area is seeing some light snow. Anyway, should taper off mid to late morning, and then some sun breaks this afternoon, and very cold temperatures in the forecast right through the forecast period, the next 7 days or so. We start out with this story, and this is crazy. A chain collision involving 3 semis and a bus shut down westbound I-90 near Easton for over 3 hours yesterday morning. According to the Washington State Patrol, at about 9:30, a large passenger bus was stopped in the outside lane of the highway, and a 2013 Peterbilt semi was stopped behind the bus with 2 semis traveling behind both, a 2020 Freightliner semi and a large tanker truck. Well, the tanker truck struck the Freightliner. That forced the Freightliner to strike the Peterbilt, which subsequently hit the bus. Now, the driver of the Peterbilt, 58-year-old David R. Davidson of Lake St. Peters, that's in Canada, he was standing outside his truck. He was also hit in this accident. He was transported to Kittitas Valley Healthcare in Ellensburg with unknown injuries. None of the other drivers involved were injured. All 3 big rigs had to be towed from the scene. The bus was able to continue on its route. The driver of the tanker, 64-year-old Kevin R. Rise of Spokane, he faces charges of following too close. The westbound lanes of the interstate was fully blocked for 3 hours and 18 minutes. Unusually, a very strange, strong late fall winter storm hit our area, of course, late Tuesday afternoon, spilling into yesterday morning. Dropped to several inches of snow in some locations and made the morning commute a bit treacherous. We got a little over 6 inches of snow outside of our studios. Area mountain passes, they were the hardest hit. 22 inches of snow on I-90, 15 inches on Stevens, 9 inches reported on Blewett Pass. A lot of areas. Schools started the day 2 hours late. A couple schools in our area didn't have classes at all yesterday. A couple of dozen accidents reported in the area Wednesday morning, including that accident at Wenatchee's school district bus slid down Kittitas Street near the Wild Huckleberry and struck a parked pickup. The accident happened around 9:30 in the morning. There were no injuries reported, by the way. The Wenatchee School District reported about 6 to 8 inches of snow in the higher elevations, about 6 inches here in town, as I mentioned. Leavenworth and Cashmere got about 10 to 12 inches. Chelan got about 6 to 10 inches of snow, depending on your elevation. And a friendly reminder from Wenatchee and City of East Wenatchee officials, it's your responsibility to clear the snow from the sidewalks around your home or your business. A man living in a Moses Lake homeless camp was arrested for armed robbery. He allegedly stole a shotgun from another resident at the camp at gunpoint. The Moses Lake Police Department said the victim was legally carrying a shotgun Monday morning when he was approached by 45-year-old Eric Applegate, who pointed a pistol at his head and subsequently took the gun. Well, after the victim called police, they obtained a search warrant for Applegate's camp and reported finding the stolen shotgun, the pistol, and an illegal short-barrel shotgun with the serial number removed. In addition to the first-degree robbery charge, Applegate faces charges of first-degree assault, 3 counts of unlawful possession of a firearm, possession of a stolen firearm, alterations of marks on a weapon, and possession of an unlawful firearm. Moses Lake firefighters had to break into a home on Tuesday night to reach a man who had fallen, couldn't get up, and used his Alexa device to call for help. Well, when the emergency crews arrived at his house, they realized that the door was bolted, locked, and they couldn't get in. So they removed the deadbolt. Then they transported the man to the area hospital. And then the firefighters, this is cool, they went to Lowe's, they bought a new deadbolt, and they installed it in the man's door. Another fire crew, by the way, stayed at the home to make sure nobody would steal anything. The deadbolt was purchased with funds set aside by Local 1258 of the International Association of Firefighters. That's kind of cool. The 6 or more inches of snow that fell in our area in the last 24 hours made it a big challenge. But Nick Nelson, he is hoping to have his big holiday light show operating by this weekend, maybe next weekend. This year, the display will be at a new location, and that's meant moving everything, and there's a lot of stuff to move from his home in Sunny Slope to Andy's Fun Farm off Grant Road in East Wenatchee. Each Christmas season since 2014, thousands of people have made their way to Nelson's home up in Sunny Slope, but Chelan County's Knowles Road Improvement Project took away the parking in the area. So Nelson needed a new location, or wasn't going to be any show. Nelson spoke about the scramble to get everything in place.
It's all physically there, but I am working more hours than anybody would ever believe trying to get it working. And this new event today is really making a pain in the butt. There is so much that goes into this show, and there's a reason why I start setting it up in October. So, yeah, my hope was to have it going by this Saturday, but I don't know how realistic that is. I think that it may even be pushed into the following weekend, much to my dismay. There's just so much stuff to do, and now all my cords are buried in snow, and so I'm sure going to give it the old college try. But I would say after last night, only maybe a third of it is even connected yet. And so I know people will drive by and they'll see it and they're like, oh, it must be already ready. Everything's already standing up. But you don't realize that not only does everything take power, it has to get data from somewhere, and it physically has to be connected to a controller. And so and then you have to tell the computer where it is, and there's a whole lot of moving parts in a show this big. And yeah, I'm surprised we got it physically up that fast, but I had a few people come help me. I think it was about 8 people that came and helped. If I was being completely honest, I've been looking for another spot to put it for probably at least 2 or 3 years, just because the volume of traffic we get is so much that I know for some of our neighbors, that live past us. I know some of them aren't happy that it's constantly a parking lot out there for, a month and a half of the year.
And finally, it is December. It's the holiday season, and that means the Wenatchee High School Golden Apple Marching Band's Booster Club does their annual Holiday Craft Bazaar. I had a chance to sit down with the two drum majors. They talked about the importance and popularity of the bazaar. It is this Saturday.
Our booster club is absolutely amazing. It's Wendy Priest and Karen Kobeck that have been working to put the craft bazaar together, and we just have so many amazing parents that come together, and we wouldn't be able to do all the stuff that we do without them, and we wouldn't be able to go to these competitions and perform at the level we do without making the money from stuff that band boosters help us with, and we'd never be able to do the craft bazaar without them.
Craft Bazaar is put on by the Booster Club, but everybody at the band is supposed to be there, and they are. As a matter of fact, again, this is Saturday. We'll give the details in just a little bit. For those folks who don't know what the hell we're talking about, what's the Craft Bazaar?
The Craft Bazaar is an annual fundraiser we put on. Basically, a bunch of vendors with different crafts or like lotions, metalwork. They come and to the high school and they pay us a fee, and people can come. They rent a table. They rent a table. People can come buy their stuff, hang out, enjoy some cookies, some coffee.
Yeah.
And they do. Every year, tons of people.
Yes, lots of people, because it's free. You don't have to pay anything to get in, and you get to have some holiday fun. You don't have to pay anything to get in, and you can come explore and see all the things people from around the valley have to offer.
How does the Golden Apple Marching Band and the Booster Club get money out of this thing? Where's the dough in it for you guys?
So the vendors pay an amount for their booth, but we don't earn profits off of what they make. They also have to donate a raffle item to our raffle, so that's how we make the majority of our money, is by selling raffle tickets. And we kind of change it up every year. I don't know. Some years we sell food and drinks. Other years we've done, Color Guard's done gift wrapping, and there's just everything else except the vendors is how we make the money.
And every year the vendors come back, don't they? I mean,
yes.
they sign up as soon as it's over and say, we're back again next
Yes, we had a really long wait list this year. We filled all our spots pretty much instantly, and we have a really long wait list for people wanting to get in if any vendors leave even this year.
My complete conversation with Finley and Sophie will air in the back half of this program. And that's the news at 18 minutes after the hour. We will have a newscast for you tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. And don't forget, you're not locked into those times. We put our news on our Facebook page and on our YouTube page and on our home page. You can watch the news whenever you want to, or you can watch it on TV with a preview. The anchor, Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, we will bring you our weekly Pause for Pets feature from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. A break from the snow today before the next round of winter weather moves our way late Friday. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Dan will have the latest pro, college, and high school sports from around the area. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope you'll join us then. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. And if you want to chime in and say hi, do it. We'll try to make it as easy for you as possible. We have an email address. Most people do. news@ncwlife.com. We have a website. Not a lot of people have their own website, but we got one. And you can go to our homepage, ncwlife.com, click on the Contact Us icon, or you can go to our Facebook page, drop us a note on the Messenger app. When we come back, the Wild's long point streak comes to an end. Cranbrook got the better of them, plus whatever's going on in high school sports tonight. Pretty light schedule, but there is some stuff of note. We'll talk about that with sports, plus the obscure holiday today in history, some celebrity birthdays, and Pause for Pets. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel. Mondays are happy hour all day long at Bob's Burgers and Brew in East Wenatchee. Great deals on appetizers, martinis, specialty drinks, wine, well drinks, and draft beers. Bob's Burgers and Brew in East Wenatchee. Come on in. They look forward to serving you.
Bob's Burgers and Brews in East Wenatchee. Come enjoy great food, great service, and a great time. Only the best for our guests. We look forward to serving you. Stop on by today.
The holiday season is here, and life is hectic. Let Merry Maids help simplify yours. You expect a lot, and Merry Maids delivers more. They'll make your home or business sparkle for holiday parties, special events, and family gatherings. They'll customize the cleaning to fit your needs and your budget. Merry Maids are cleaning experts. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. Best of all, your satisfaction is always guaranteed. Visit online, merrymaids.com, and call for a free estimate. Then you can relax. It's done.
20 minutes after the hour, the Wenatchee Wild 7-game point streak. Game to win in last night, 3-2, the final. Cranbrook knocks off the Wild at Western Financial Place. Parker Murray accounted for both of the Wild goals at the 5:35 and 7:37 marks of the second period. The loss saw a few notable scoring streaks come to an end for the Wild, including a 7-game point streak for Micah Berger and a 6-game point streak for Kate Littler. Those ended. Limemate Christian Kim also posted assists in 4 straight games before he went without a point in last night's loss. So Wenatchee drops now to 9-11, 0-2 on the season, but they still closed out the month of November with a 7-2, 0-1 record. It was a good month. They're just 1 point back of the Vernon Vipers and the Trail Smoke Eaters for 6th place in the Interior Conference. Cranbrook, by the way, is now 13-8, 1-0 with the win. Next up, as their 3-game road trip continues, they'll be visiting Trail on Friday night, the opening puck at Common Co Arena, scheduled for 7 o'clock. You can watch it on BCHL TV or listen to it on 560 KPQ. All right, your high school sports schedule for tonight, pretty light, but we want to mention the Wenatchee girls and boys are going to hop on the bus and cruise on down to Othello to take on the Huskies. The girls will get going at 6 o'clock, the boys to follow shortly thereafter. There's other high school activities going on. Again, pretty light schedule on Thursdays. Girls bowling today, league-leading Wenatchee Panthers will be down in Yakima, the gateway to Wapato, to take on Eisenhower at 3 o'clock. Eastmont's also on the road. They'll take on Sela in girls bowling at 3:30, and Moses Lake will be in Yakima as well to take on Davis at 3:30 in girls bowling. And boys swim and dive. Everybody into the pool. Big Nine meet. All the schools in the Big Nine that have a boys swimming and diving team will be gathering in Moses Lake beginning at 4 o'clock. And is that it? Is that what we have for sports? I think that's all we have for sports. At 22 minutes after the hour, I could have picked Day Without Art Day for the obscure holiday. I chose not to. Today is World Trick Shot Day. We grew up at the pool table at the house, and so we got to be pretty good at doing trick shots. But no, today, December 1st, is Eat a Red Apple Day. Of course, they say you should eat an apple every day to keep the doctor away, but who's kidding who? We live in the apple capital of the world. First of all, apples are pretty cheap. The second thing about eating a red apple, I didn't even think about this until about 20 minutes ago when I was getting ready to do the show. I've never seen anybody walking around eating a green apple. I associate green apples with baking. Green apples are the ones that you put in pies because they're tart, and then you add the sugar, and the mixture of the tartness of the green apple and the sugar that you put in it really brings out the flavor of the apple. But I never see anybody walking around eating a green apple, probably because it's just too darn tart. Both green apples and red apples have numerous health advantages. Green apples have a higher fiber content than red apples, by the way, and they have less sugar. But of course, all apples have natural sugar. So sink your teeth into a juicy red apple. There's no lack of varieties around here. They're all good. I like them all. I try to eat 1 apple a day if I can, if I have the time. So eat a red apple day today. And to help the local economy. 24 minutes after the hour. Today in history, this was a revolutionary idea that went to pretty much all heavy industry. The Ford Motor Company, on December 1st, 1913, that would be 109 years ago today, rolled out the assembly line, where the worker just stood there and the parts came to them. The advantages were numerous. First of all, the workers didn't have to do any heavy lifting. They just stood there. Here comes your part, and you do what you need to do, and it goes on down the line. You didn't have to stoop or bend over. You didn't really need any special training. Just once you get the hang of it, you're in business. It provided lots and lots of jobs that almost anybody could do, and it completely raised the middle class in Detroit to a whole nother level. And immigrants found well-paying jobs without having to work real hard. And now, of course, almost everything from automobiles to washers and dryers and appliances to airplanes and everything you could think of are pretty much constructed on the assembly line, where you just stand there and the work comes to you. We can't do that in television. We tried it once, it didn't work. Happy birthday to the assembly line. December 1st, 1955, Rosa Parks just had a long day at work. She was a seamstress down there in Montgomery, Alabama. She wasn't trying to do some revolutionary bus boycott. She just wanted to sit down and rest her aching feet and legs. And she sat down on the bus in Montgomery, Alabama. And when they got to the next bus stop, some white guys got on, and she, by local law and custom, was supposed to get up and give her seat to a white person because she was an African American, and she said, no, I ain't gonna do it. Again, she wasn't looking to be a civil rights icon or start something big. She just didn't want to get up. She just wanted to rest on her way home. And sure enough, Rosa Parks was arrested for violating the various ordinances of having black people give up their seat to white people. This lit the fuse that led eventually to the Montgomery bus boycott, which crippled the economy of Montgomery, Alabama, because the vast majority of African Americans used the bus system to get from work to home and back again, and they just said, we ain't going to ride the bus no more, and the bus company started losing money left and right. They organized carpools. In the meantime, Rosa Parks became, accidentally, a civil rights pioneer. She was sent to the Hooskow, December 1st, 1955. December 1st, 1958. Some stories that we do in Today in History, a lot of them are tragic stories. It's Today in History. It doesn't matter whether it's good, bad, or otherwise, but this one hits home. It's Chicago. Roll the footage. This is just unbelievable. At the Our Lady of the Angels, which is a school that was owned by the Archdiocese of Chicago. Do we have the footage? Look at this.
There was no way.
This is just incredible. Nobody knows what started the fire. It started in a stairwell in the old section of the school. There were two sections, the original section and then a modified and rebuilt section. In the old section, a small fire started. They figured it was smoldering for about 20 minutes, and then it kind of took off. A couple of kids opened the door to their classroom, and the fire rushed in. When it was all said and done, at the Our Lady of the Angels School in Chicago, 92 children and 3 nuns died. Of the 92 children who died, about half of them died in just 2 classrooms. They were trapped. They could not get out. A lot of kids simply jumped from the windows. A lot of kids in the smaller classes, in the smaller grades, weren't large enough to climb up to the windows to get out. They were trapped. And how did this happen? There was a grandfather clause. It did not require schools in Chicago to retrofit to the new standard if they had already met the old standard. So legally, they didn't have to worry about the fire codes of 1958 morally, and they never figured out how the fire got started 64 years ago today. Here come the Seattle Pilots, 55 years ago today, December 1st, 1967, at the meeting of the American League Executives in Mexico City. Pacific Northwest Sports Incorporated is officially awarded one of the 2 new American League expansion franchises to begin playing baseball in the spring of 1969, and they would be officially called the Seattle Pilots. One of the things that they were required to do is build a new stadium. Because in 1969, of course, they played at the old Six Stadium in the Rainier Valley in Seattle. They lasted 1 year, moved to Milwaukee. They never did build the new stadium until they got around to making the Kingdome. But the Pilots are coming to town. Check them all you can, 55 years ago today. And 38 years ago today, there was only one real way to figure out how to make airplanes safer during a crash. And the only way to do that was to crash a plane on purpose. And so a bunch of people who knew what they were doing, NASA, the FAA, and a bunch of other people, decided to purposely crash a plane. Check out this footage. It's rather remarkable. First of all, there's nobody actually flying the plane. The plane is being flown by remote control. This was the 15th flight. They had done 14 previous flights on this 1960 Boeing jet to see if they could do it. And then finally, on the 15th flight, they said, we're going to purposely crash this plane. This is way out in the middle of the desert in California, so nobody will ever get hurt. The idea is we're going to deliberately crash a plane with a bunch of computers, and sensors on board to gather all the data that they would need. The idea is how to let passengers in airlines survive crashes. Isn't this? They don't show this movie, by the way, on your in-flight flight from Dallas to Chicago. They don't show this, as you might imagine. Yeah, the guy was flying the plane remotely. They had sensors to collect all the data. And by that, what they really got out of this was in 1984, what they really got out of it is they changed the type of airline fuel to make it much less flammable. They say in that crash that you just saw, if it was a full plane with the new type of fuel that they developed, 44 people would have survived that plane crash. Nobody was killed. Flew the plane into the ground on purpose, so you got to figure out one way or the other. That was on this date in 64. Birthdays at the bottom of the hour, Lee Trevino. I love Lee Trevino. He's 83 years old today. 6 major championships. He won the U.S. Open. He won the PGA. He never won the Masters. Never won the Masters. He won the PGA, the U.S. Open, and the Open Championship. Didn't win the Masters. After he was struck by lightning at the 1975 Western Open, Lee Trevino was asked by a reporter what would happen if he was out on the golf course and a lightning storm came in. He said, I would pull the 1-iron out of my bag, hold it high above my head, and stand there because even God can't hit a 1-iron. Lee Trevino was a golf hustler when he was a kid in West Texas. That's how he made his money. Taught himself to play the game of golf, and he would take on the rich businessmen on their Wednesday afternoon golf games and take all their money. Smart move. Lee Trevino, 83 years old today, the golf legend. Richard Pryor. In 2017, Comedy Central listed the greatest comedians of all time. Richard Pryor came in at number 1. His comedy albums of the 1970s were absolutely hilarious. The great late Richard Pryor would have been 82 years old today. We lost him a number of years ago. Happy 77th to Bette Midler. She is the wind beneath my wings. I've never met her. I understand she's pretty cool. Bette Midler is 77 years old today. And for those who follow Greek basketball, you know this guy, of course. He follows the show all the time. Linus Christopanopoulos celebrates a birthday today. Happy birthday. Linos, he is 30 years old today. Watches the show every day. Before we take a break and get to an opinion from Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, plus my conversation with the 2 drum majors with the Wenatchee High School Golden Apple Marching Band, those 2 things are on the agenda. But first things first, Forrest the dog is still in dog jail. It ain't his fault. It's Pause for Pets from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society.
Hello, I'm Jenny. I'm the Animal Behavior Coordinator here at Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and today I have with me Forrest. This handsome husky has been with us for a little while, and he is desperately looking to have his own home. Forrest is kind of your typical husky. He likes to do his own thing, and he's happy by himself to do his own thing. However, he also loves to go on adventures with his person. He's polite to all the people that he meets here at the Humane Society. He's kind of become a favorite of some of our husky-loving volunteers. Forrest does need a home that can provide a secure yard for him, and he seems to display a little bit of prey drive. So we're asking for a home with no livestock, no chickens, no anything like that, because that might be too tempting for Forrest. But overall, Forrest, is just really a great dog. He's so wonderful with everyone. He loves to play. He loves to go to playgroup. He absolutely loves breakfast time. So he is a guy of schedule for sure, and knows exactly when his breakfast and his enrichments are here. He's just an easy dog. So if somebody can provide a home, probably as the only pet, he would be the most successful.
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and closed 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. for quiet hour. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org.
Alignment Pros and Express Lube. You'll get 5-star quality service every day. Brakes, alignments, shocks, struts. Napa certified shop with warranty parts. From front to back, Alignment Pros offers a variety of services for your daily vehicle to your custom car. And waiting for service is no problem in their upstairs waiting room. Enjoy a hot or cold beverage, sit down with a good book, or play a game of pool. Alignment Pros and Express Lube. Look for their holiday specials online.
Raising a family may have seemed overwhelming to your parents, but they weren't. Coach, teacher, life guide, caregiver. Family takes care of family. And as the circle of life continues, you now are their caregiver. It may seem overwhelming, but we're here to help you find the support services necessary so you can provide quality care to your elders.
Call Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington at 1-800-572-4459.
Hi, folks. Welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chair on the other side. You can use this time warranty.
Great. I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
I'm John Divis from Wenatchee Dental Arts, and I like to think myself as a comprehensive dentist. We are an office that treats people comprehensively for their dental problems. We do a lot of general dentistry in a broad sense. We don't send everything out. Things that we have the ability to do in the office, we like to keep in the office and under one roof and keep things as complication-free as possible. You can come to one place and have all their dental needs taken care of.
This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, Western Christianity is focused on personal sin, considering the things that I have done wrong, saying that you're sorry to Jesus, and asking to be forgiven. Well, what about the sin of social injustice? Many of the lessons in the Bible aren't focusing on whether or not you stole a candy bar, told a lie, or said a bad word, but instead, a lot of messages, particularly in the Old Testament minor prophets and the major prophets too, they address things of social injustice. Now, the Old Testament prophets were big on chastising God's people for focusing on themselves and ignoring the poor, the hungry, and society's outcasts. Maybe the church in America should start being more concerned about racial prejudice, economic inequality, and things like whether or not we are a society that cares for the dispossessed, instead of wondering if Jesus is someone's personal Lord and Savior. This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
I believe we've been coming to Abby's for 56 years, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
56 years.
Remembering all the events as a family and a community that we spent at Abby's.
Excellent and delicious food at an affordable price. We're delighted that we live close enough to be able to be a frequent customer.
And we are.
And we are. In fact, we've got orders to bring home a giant pizza when we leave here tonight.
Is your recliner as comfortable as this? Does it have lumbar support? The new technology in power recliners is simply amazing.
Hi, can I help you?
Well, yes, I was just telling my friends.
Oh, about the great selection of recliners we have here at Boswell's? It's true. We have everything from pushback recliners to power recliners with all the latest features.
Boswell's Furniture on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
Green Motion is Central Washington's home for affordable e-bikes. They carry 5 models of Class 2 e-bikes, including folding models that fit right in the trunk of your car, and full-size mountain bikes with front suspension. All e-bikes include 5 levels of pedal assist and a throttle, allowing you to travel up to 30 miles with ease. The USB port can charge cell phones and other electronics right from your bike. You fell in love with your first bike, now fall in love again with a new Green Motion e-bike, located in the Mills Brothers building on the corner of Palouse and Wenatchee Avenue.
Since 1932, Camp Seneca, nestled on the beautiful shores of Lake Wenatchee, has provided children grades 1 through 12 with the ideal location for kids to learn new skills, have fun, and make friends while creating memories that will last a lifetime. Camp Seneca's rustic log cabins and their staff serve to provide each group a unique summer camp experience. Register for Camp Seneca today, www.campfirencw.org.
1989, I moved here in July. My dad farmed, my brother's still on the family farm. I worked for a dealer in Lewiston, Idaho. I was his general sales manager. My boss goes, I got a guy that may be ready for a store. We made one trip here, and that's how I ended up here. I'd never been here in my life, and I had no friends here. I have nothing, you know. I do now. I have a lot of friends here. I mean, this is my home. I love living here.
Welcome back to the program. Every late November, as we get into the holiday season, I make a point to drop by the Wenatchee High School Auditorium to talk to my good friends at the Wenatchee High School Golden Apple Marching Band, award-winning. And I don't have to put quotations in front of it because they do have a trophy case full of awards, all of them well-deserved, and their big fundraiser, which is put on by their Booster Club, is this Saturday, December 3rd. It's the Big Bazaar. It's being held at the Wenatchee High School Commons. Lovely ladies, introduce yourself to our television family. I'll let the senior drum major go first. Go ahead.
I'm Finley Otley, and I'm the senior drum major for the Golden Apple Band.
I'm Sophie Macon, and I'm the junior drum major for the Golden Apple Band.
You were with our conversation last year.
Yes, I was.
As the junior drum major, so you inherit that job.
Yeah.
It's yours automatically. Has it been what you thought? I mean, that's one of the reasons that you inherit the job, so you step into that leadership position right as school starts.
I'd say it's similar to last year. It's not like much changes, but you definitely have a little bit bigger of a role, and people look to you a little more than when you're junior drum major.
So, and now you're going to be following in her footsteps.
Oh yeah.
So talk about that process. How did you get to be the junior drum major?
Towards the end of the school year, we do drum major auditions, and so we had a little bit of a class kind of practicing every few days for a couple of weeks, and at first I wasn't going to do it, but then I had a quick change of heart, and I'm really glad I tried out.
Does Mr. Kovac say, who wants to be drum major, raise your hand, or does Mr. Kovac pull you aside and said, I think you have what it takes?
It's usually run by the two of us. Like last year, Ellen and I were the ones that put it on, and we're the ones that do all the training, and then he's like out of that process entirely until it comes to the point where he has to choose something. He doesn't go to tryouts, he doesn't help teach us. That's kind of all our job. He's really focused on student leadership based stuff and having us figure out who we want our leadership team to be. So he really leaves it up to his students, and I think that adds a lot to this program because we're a pretty much student-led, student-based
Did you know last spring that you done pretty good when you auditioned for drum major?
Actually, I thought I wasn't going to get it, but I was like, it's a 50-50 chance. I just remember dropping the military a couple times, but I thought I did really good. There's an interview part of it, and I just felt really confident on that part. And so I was really pleased when I got the news.
So now you're not playing an instrument in the band unless you're sitting in a concert setting. You're going to dig out your saxophone and wail away on it. But for the most part, you've kind of put that aside now.
Yeah. Well, I do jazz band and wind ensemble because that was kind of why I didn't want to do it at first, because I just love playing. But I was like, I can do those other groups.
Golden Apple Marching Band, Jazz Band, Wind Ensemble. Do you ever go to the other side of the high school? Do you know where that's at?
4 out of 7 of my classes are with Mr. K.
Oh, okay. Is music what you want to do?
Absolutely.
So you play, I'm sorry, alto saxophone?
I play tenor saxophone,
okay.
and alto.
Oh, so you play both saxophones?
But mostly tenor, yeah.
And that's why? What?
I don't know.
You like the sound of it? Are you good at it?
I really do. I used to play the flute, but then I switched for jazz band, and then I couldn't look back.
The flute's hard to play.
It is. It's hard, and it's also just not as fun.
I think I've asked you this question before. When you're either marching in a parade, in down a parade route where you're just trying not to fall over, and or you're doing your performance like you just did in Auburn. What's the hardest instrument to play and still move around choreographically speaking?
Oh goodness, I feel like they all have their own different things that make them a little difficult. Like in the wind, it's hard to play a flute because your noise just goes straight away. For me, I feel like I can never do the tuba. I don't have the shoulders for that. I think that one's really hard. Also, a lot of appreciation for the color guard. I could never dance and throw things up in the air. That would be very difficult for me. So I feel like every instrument has its own thing that makes it a little more difficult.
You agree with her?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think I asked one of the drum majors a couple of years ago the hardest one. She said the grand piano. Let's talk about Saturday. It's back. It's the big craft bazaar.
Yes.
This is the biggest fundraiser of the year. Your booster club puts this on, and we need to talk about that because the Wenatchee High School Golden Apple Marching Band has a booster club, and not a lot of bands do, and you guys do.
Yes, our booster club is absolutely amazing. It's Wendy Priest and Karen Kobeck that have been working to put the craft bazaar together, and we just have so many amazing parents that come together, and we wouldn't be able to do all the stuff that we do without them, and we wouldn't be able to go to these competitions and perform at the level we do without making the money from stuff that band boosters help us with, and we'd never be able to do the craft bazaar without them.
Craft Bazaar is put on by the Booster Club, but everybody at the band is supposed to be there, and they are, as a matter of fact. Again, it's this Saturday. We'll give the details in just a little bit. For those folks who don't know what the hell we're talking about, what's the Craft Bazaar?
The Craft Bazaar is an annual fundraiser we put on. Basically, a bunch of vendors with different crafts or like lotions, metal work. They come and to the high school and they pay us a fee, and people can come.
They rent a table?
They rent a table. People can come buy their stuff, hang out, enjoy some cookies, some coffee.
And they do. Every
Yes.
year, tons of people.
Yes, lots of people, because it's free. You don't have to pay anything
Yeah.
to get in, and you get to have some holiday fun. You know, you don't have to pay anything to get in, and you can come explore and see all the things people from around the valley have to offer.
How does the Golden Apple Marching Band and the Booster Club get money out of this thing? Where's the dough in it for you guys?
So the vendors pay an amount for their booth, but we don't earn profits off of what they make. They also have to donate a raffle item to our raffle, so that's how we make the majority of our money, is by selling raffle tickets. And we kind of change it up every year. I don't know, some years we sell food and drinks. Other years we've done, Color Guard's done gift wrapping, and there's just everything else except the vendors is how we make the money.
And every year the vendors come back, don't they? I mean,
Yes.
they sign up as soon as it's over, so we're back again next year.
Yes, we had a really long wait list this year. We filled all our spots pretty much instantly, and we have a really long wait list for people wanting to get in if any vendors leave even this year.
Why not just make it bigger? Say any vendor who wants to pay the fee can come. Is it a matter of square footage? Or?
Yeah, we use basically the entire front half of the high school. We use the entire front hallway. We use both sides of our cafeteria. We use one of the other hallways, unless we made it span the entire school, maybe even the gym. I don't know if we could
So you're just
do
pulling
any
out a
more.
room?
Yeah, we're pretty much running out of room, and I think they wouldn't. Karen and Wendy wouldn't be able to handle that many people.
And this year, for the first time that I can remember, you have a main sponsor, Chinook Music is the main presenting sponsor, and
Yes,
that's fantastic
yeah.
because my guess is a lot of you rent your
Yes, they're a big
your
help.
instruments from Chinook.
Yes.
So again, one-of-a-kind stuff, creative stuff you're never going to find anyplace else. I found some really cool stuff. Got a friend of mine who's a candle maker, and she says she makes half of her yearly profits
Yes.
in the 6 hours that she's here at the Commons. She does a couple of street fairs here and there. She gets a booth at Apple Blossom. She says this is the big money maker for her.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because people come buy your Christmas gifts. You know, you can buy homemade Christmas gifts for your friends and family. I think that's what a lot of people come and do.
You mentioned the raffle. What is that? Is that one of everything and one person wins it, or how does that work?
So each vendor donates a basket, so there's usually around 60 items, and then people from around the valley donate larger items. Like last year we had 2 free rounds of golf at the country club that were donated. So we usually have some bigger items that are more expensive raffle tickets, and then the vendor items, which are smaller raffle items. And then at the end of the day, we pull the raffle and give people a call, and they come down and pick up their stuff.
You get a raffle ticket, as many as you want to buy, and then you just like put them in the basket as you go around.
Exactly.
Like that. Oh, okay. That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, so some people buy like 50 raffle tickets and win nothing, and some people buy 1 raffle ticket and win what they put it in. Yeah.
And the more raffle tickets you sell, the more money you guys are going to make.
Yes, raffle tickets really help us out.
So you're going to get some money, and then it's administered by the parents, by the Booster Club. What's the most urgent financial need for the Golden Apple Marching Band right now?
Oh, I don't even know. That's like a lot of their side of the thing. Usually it helps us buy instruments, get to competitions. I know last year we wanted to get a semi-truck. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that would be pretty cool because it's just hard to lug all the stuff around to competitions. So I think it's a lot of that, and the boosters just do so much about managing our financials. They do a great job. I could never, so I just am so appreciative of everything they do.
Well, it also must be a huge relief for Mr. Kovac.
Oh, yes.
He can concentrate on the kids and on the class and on the band.
Exactly.
Not have to worry about that stuff.
Yes, exactly.
So, how did you do in competition, before I forget? How did you you did the annual trip to Auburn, right?
Yes, so the first weekend in November we went to Auburn. And we ended up kind of getting stuck in a snowstorm. It was an eventful day, so we actually had to leave right after we performed, but I was able to stay and accept our awards, and we ended up getting first place in our division for parade marching and for on-field marching.
So for the first time ever, the Wenatchee High School Golden Apple Marching Band has won an award. I recommended this last year. If you got some money, how about a new trophy case? Because you can't put anything more out there.
Oh, you should have seen my struggle to fit the trophies from this year in there. I had to rearrange everything. I'm like, maybe we should put these plaques on the walls. You should see the filing cabinets in the band room too. We have 3 filing cabinets of plaques. You just open them, you can look through them like pieces of paper.
Is there pressure to live up to the expectations? I mean, the Wenatchee High School Golden Apple Marching Band has been winning awards for decades and upon decades, year after year. Is there a certain amount of pressure to keep that going?
Yeah, there definitely is. I think we were on the struggle bus for the start of this year. We definitely we're at the bottom and made our way to the top. Our first competition, we didn't even make it to finals competition, and then because there's prelims and then finals. But then our last competition, we ended up getting first. So it's just been different with a smaller group. It's definitely been more difficult. You can't hide. You can't hide in a small group. Everyone has to
if you
play
miss
their
a note,
part.
People are going to hear it.
Yeah.
It's going to be covered up. What do people have any idea how hard this work you do? How many hours you put in? Your parents do. But do people have a general idea of how much extracurricular time per week that you guys do?
I think my teachers do. I think it's always a little bit of a shock whenever I tell people we're practicing 9 hours a week, but eventually they just get used to it. And it's like, oh, Sophie can't come to this thing. She has band.
Yeah, we practice a lot more than they have in past years just because we've had to put more work into a smaller group. We ended up practicing close to 3 to 4 nights a week.
Does it make you a better musician because of the smaller band?
Yeah, you definitely, I think that a lot of our freshmen had to really grow and learn really, really quickly.
One more time for the details. Again, it's this Saturday. We're going to throw it up on the screen. One thing we haven't talked about, how can people pay for the individual? Is it up to the individual vendor if they have one of those little swipey machines, or if they only take cash? Is that how that works?
Yeah, most vendors, at least last year, had card readers for the majority of them. But yeah, I think most of them prefer cash though, so it just is dependent on the vendor.
Just bring cash.
Yeah.
Bring cash. Yeah. Don't take any chances. Bring cash. Yeah. Thousands and thousands of dollars in cash. Empty your bank account out and get it out all together. I won't ask you this question until next year, so you get a break because you're a senior. So what now? I mean, June you graduate. I'm assuming you're going to graduate. You're in running start, right? And then what?
I'm thinking about I've applied and got into a few universities. I don't know exactly where I want to go yet. But I'm thinking about maybe minoring in English and majoring in neuroscience or something biomedical.
Whoa. That's impressive.
I mean, we'll see. My mind will probably change.
Are you still going to play the saxophone?
Oh, I don't think so. I think I want to keep a little music. I love going to the musicals here and watching concerts, so I don't think that'll be something that ever leaves my brain. I love watching. Field shows are so fun to watch. If you ever want to experience something, go watch a drum corps show on YouTube, Blue Devils, anybody, Blue Coats, and your life will be slightly changed. I don't think people understand how cool it is.
I like the ramp entrance for the Ohio State University marching band when they come in and do their little thing and stuff like that. When the guy bends over the drum major.
Yes. We don't do any of that.
Yeah. No,
but that is so cool.
I taught him how to do that. Something I did. The annual Holiday Craft Bazaar is put on the Wenatchee High School Golden Apple Marching Band Booster Club. You can get gifts that you're not going to find anyplace else, and you get to meet some really cool kids who've got great futures. Have fun, and by the way, you're right about that. This SpongeBob SquarePants was good.
Oh, so good, so good.
Yeah.
The music department's doing so much cool stuff. Magical Fest is also this weekend.
Yeah, it is.
We'll be having some wind ensemble players performing during the Craft Bazaar, so if you want to come listen to some music too, we'll be having students performing during the Craft Bazaar, and you can learn a little bit about Magical Fest, which is like a medieval themed dinner theater. I don't know. Sophie's in it. She can probably explain.
Immersive experience.
You gonna bring your saxophone and play a couple tunes on
Yeah,
it?
she
is. Yeah. You know what you should do? You should like set up in front of the Commons and put your case out and throw some money in there and just play and just see if people just throw money in there.
Yeah.
You know, before you know it, you got a whole new wardrobe. So, wait a minute, I gave the money to the gal out front. You mean there's how much does it cost on Saturday?
Free. Yes.
Thanks for taking time out of your busy class. And, we appreciate it. And have fun.
Thank you.
All right. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
Hi, I'm Jim Heinlein, independent agent at Springwater Insurance Group. And at Springwater, we really enjoy being independent because what that means is that we become an educator and a teacher for Medicare plans. In fact, all plans. So if you have questions about perhaps changing your coverage, going to a new plan, at Springwater Insurance Group, we can teach you all your choices. And we give you the option. Would you like to give us a call, maybe have a Zoom meeting? Whatever way works best for you, give us a call at Springwater Insurance Group.
Welcome to Bubbly by Cake Chick, where friends come to relax and reconnect. Enjoy delicious lunches, decadent desserts, classic champagne, and bourbon tastings. Make every day an occasion when you join friends at Bubbly by Cake Chick on Riverside Drive in Wenatchee.
Ho, ho, ho! Santa wants you to shop at the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. They have a huge variety of fun Christmas items in their Christmas cottage. There's so much to choose from, and it changes day to day. Santas and snowmen, holiday dishes and decor, village pieces and ornaments. To add to your collection or start something new, you can't beat the prices. What's old is new again for you in the Christmas cottage at the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. Everybody's getting some light snow in the north central Washington area. Wenatchee Valley, not exception to that. 21 degrees. It's also a little foggy and misty out there. Quick heads up on the passes. Stevens Pass, traction tires are required. I-90, Snoqualmie Pass, chains are required. And traction tires are required on Blue Pass. As you might imagine, they are getting snow as well. Now, the snow we have right now is supposed to taper off mid to late morning. Let's go ahead and take one more look at the forecast from our friends at Apple Valley Honda and the National Weather Service. Again, snow should be done about noonish or so, and then they say we're going to see a few sunbreaks this afternoon, kind of similar to yesterday. Now, yesterday, after the snow, we only got to 24 degrees, and a friendly reminder, when there's snow on the ground, it has a tendency to make the forecast highs and lows cooler than normal. There's the natural cooling of the snow on the ground. So they say about 30 for the afternoon high with a few sun breaks. We'll have to wait and see. Look at the overnight low tonight, single digits. And because it's going to be really cold tonight, it's going to take a long time for us to warm up. And on Friday, in fact, we're not going to warm up really much at all on Friday with a high of 20 degrees. Another band of light snow Friday night into Saturday. And then we see some sunshine, but very cold temperatures. And that's it for us. We will see you Friday. Bye-bye.